Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. Saints had rookie minicamp over the weekend, as you know. Had roughly 60 players out there between draft picks and undrafted free agents, and some players are not on guaranteed contracts. And just kind of getting the blood flowing a little bit. No pads, no tackling or anything. But some integration of the offense, a little bit of 7-on-7 type stuff, and some drills, and really an opportunity, I think, for the local media in New Orleans to get to know some of these young players who the Saints may be leaning on pretty heavily coming up this fall. So we want to hear from Dennis Allen, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, some of the things that he had to say. And the first bite we have here is talking about his new offensive coordinator and what they're trying to do offensively to get this thing rolling.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think the offensive staff in general is doing a really good job. You know, they're doing a good job of implementing the system, both with these rookies and also with the vets in the building. Certainly, we've got a lot of work to do, but I think it's been a good start. The guys are working really hard, all of them, players, coaches, everybody. It's been fun to see.
I'll say I don't know where my expectations are for the Saints offense. My curiosity level is high. I'm curious how different this is going to look. Because if you turn on the New Orleans Saints at noon last year and then flipped over to that 49ers game at 3 o'clock after that, like the difference in the two offenses was astronomical. And I think it's easy for us to suggest, oh, here comes Clint Kubiak. He's just going to run Shanahan's offense. Well, probably not. I think that he worked under Kyle Shanahan, but to suggest that they're the exact same coach and they're going to do the exact same thing, I think would be disingenuous. But I do think it's going to look different, and I'm curious at just how different it is and what it's going to look like. We don't get our answer until September, but I'm just curious. My curiosity level is high with the Saints on offense. Part of that offense is going to be Taliese Fuaga and where he fits in on the offensive line. We know the issues that they've got at tackle. We know the Trevor Penning situation. We know the Ryan Ramczyk situation. Both of those are very, very tenuous at this point. Where does Fuaga fill in? And that's what Dennis Allen spoke about.
Starting off, we're going to work him primarily over on the left side, and then we'll evaluate it as it goes. I mean, we haven't made any decisions in terms of concrete decisions, sure, but yet that's where we're going to start him right now. We wanted to get him a lot of work in this camp, see how he does in this camp, and then we'll reevaluate after this camp.
I think the right thing to do is to get him at this point in the offseason where you're a long way away from getting ready to play a football game. The right thing to do is to put him at left tackle. Show me you can't play left tackle. If he doesn't do that, I think there's reason to believe he is your left tackle. But if he does early on, it's the wrong side of the road, as we were talking about with Sean Fazan earlier. He's a right tackle. That's where he's comfortable. That's where he's best. What's the deal with Ryan Ramczyk? I don't know. Okay, we'll figure out left tackle with somebody else. But we've drafted this guy in the first round. We expect him to be on the team for 10 years, and maybe it's at right tackle. Maybe he's the next guy after Ryan Ramczyk. But you're not going to learn anything if he plays right tackle right now because you already know that he's a right tackle. You've evaluated all that tape. You understand that that's where he's played and dominated at the college level. So show me left tackle and see what that looks like. I think that's absolutely the right decision. Do we have another bite there talking about Fuaga and whether or not right or left tackle? Let's play that.
Yeah, no. So what we just played was
right.
It was his decision, and then this is Dennis Allen talking about Fuaga getting reps at left tackle.
Okay.
I think we want to take a look at him on the left side and see how he does over there. I think we're pretty confident that he can play right tackle. And so getting him some work over on the left side, I think, is important. And then we'll evaluate it as we go and see how he does.
I completely agree with that decision making, and I think that this was a quality draft pick by the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler, probably the biggest name of the rookies there at minicamp because he plays quarterback. Certainly not a first-round pick, but Spencer Rattler was a very, very high-profile high school player that everybody knew, and of course you see him on The Quarterback, that Netflix documentary, and then he goes to Oklahoma where he's playing for Lincoln Riley and filling in for the 2 straight Heisman Trophy winners. You're talking about Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. Things don't quite work out there, and a future Heisman Trophy winner takes over for him, goes to South Carolina, and is kind of the face of that program. And so he's a big name, and I think it's reasonable to kind of have some questions about Spencer Rattler and where he fits in. And Dennis Allen talked about the youngster.
Well, it's probably a better question to ask him, but he certainly looked fine to me. You know what I mean? Like, I thought the last couple of days, I think he's done a pretty good job, getting guys in and out of the huddle. For the most part, there hadn't been a lot of re-huddles. We're getting the calls out and guys are executing.
That's the point of the NFL calendar that we're in right now. Yeah, he got out of the huddle. Got out of the huddle great. That's where we are.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that and that specific cut from Dennis Allen there, because we talked about it. I was doing OTB this morning, and they kind of talked about just the rookies going through playbooks and learning plays and all the verbiage and like installs and all that, and just how difficult it is can be for rookie quarterbacks coming in just to learn this is the play call and how to say it to the huddle and know it and know what the play means before starting the actual play. So it is pretty interesting to hear him say that, but it's so hopefully that's something that Spencer Rattler doesn't struggle with. It seems that he hasn't.
Look, I'll be quite honest. Like nobody drafted me to play quarterback in the NFL to this point.
Okay.
So I still got some eligibility left, but nobody's done that yet. But like my short-term memory on like phone numbers and stuff, I would have no chance at hearing a coordinator give me that long, goofy sounding play and getting it to the other 10 guys. I would have no chance.
Me too. I would be terrible. I have like I'm not good at focusing on stuff. Like I'm always like kind of darting around, like thinking about something and then thinking about something else. So
you tell me a phone number, I have no chance of punching that into my phone. I can't go and like look up a phone number and then type it in. I can't do it. And so I would never be able to. My quarterbacking days ended when the plays were called 88 wham and 37 toss, and like that was the end of the play. The stuff they do now, like I would just have absolutely no shot at. But as far as Spencer Rattler goes, like we talked about this after the draft, I think it was a worthwhile pick. Most of the time, 5th, 6th, 7th rounders don't pan out. Now, they're lottery tickets, and they can, and sometimes you draft guys late and they turn into really, really good players. I mean, obviously, the famous example of that right now that's playing is Brock Purdy, but it's worth a shot at a guy that has talent to bring him in and see what he can do. The Saints have needed their backup quarterback in, 3 of the last 5 years? I mean, the end of Breeze, you had to have Teddy Bridgewater, and you had to have Taysom Hill play, and then Jameis got hurt as well, and last year Carr got hurt. Like, it's good to have a backup quarterback, but I think for me the more interesting thing is like, is there a chance lightning could strike and he could actually be your franchise quarterback? We'll see. He'll compete with Jake Haener this year to sit behind Derek Carr, and we'll see how that kind of shakes out. But I'm interested in Spencer Rattler. I think that's an interesting storyline with the Saints in the offseason. Bub Means, guy that the Saints would love to make this team. They're looking for pass catchers and options out there beyond the kind of the starting 3 at wide receiver. What does Bub Means bring to the Saints?
Look, I think for the first couple of days, I think he's done some good things. Yesterday, he got cut a little short with some cramps, so he's got to get himself into shape. But if he's in shape and ready to go, I think there's some talent there. He's big, he's got some physicality, he can run, so there's a lot of good qualities there.
With Michael Thomas moving on, you've kind of lost the big physical target. You don't necessarily have that. I wouldn't classify Chris Olave as a big physical target. Certainly not Rashid Shaheed. So I think Equanimeous St. Brown comes in and has that kind of pedigree. Does he make the team? I don't know. Bub Means kind of cut out of that same cloth, big physical guy. We'll see if he can make some waves there with the Saints at wide receiver. And last cut here from Dennis Allen as we continue to talk about the offense is talking about the biggest difference from the new offense to the old.
The biggest thing is the verbiage. I think that's the biggest adjustment that all players have as they go from system to system. I think the verbiage that we have now is a little less wordy than maybe what we've had in the past, which I think can benefit our players and hopefully look. I think the hope in terms of the system is that we can kind of simplify and get guys not having to think so much and get guys playing faster. And I think that's part of what we're trying to do.
The positive thing there is if you were trying to go to work with Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels and they were having to pick up all this new verbiage and trying to figure this out on the fly, I think that would be a little bit concerning. But as far as Derek Carr goes, like, he's going to pick this up pretty quickly. And I don't think the transition is going to be a huge deal to him. He's a pro. He's been in the NFL for a decade. Like, he'll be able to figure this out and have it up and running by the time the Saints get to training camp. And I don't have any doubt about that. So I see where Dennis Allen's coming from, saying, yeah, like we've got to change everything we say offensively because it's a brand new staff coming in here, not doing things the way they've been done for a very, very long time. But when you got a veteran quarterback like that, you feel like they're going to pick it up and figure it out really quickly. So that's just a few nuggets from Saints rookie minicamp over the weekend down in New Orleans. Hey, it's Hunt. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button, leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.